Today on One Happy Podcast, we're talking about October being Eat Local Restaurant Month on the island of Aruba. So we're going to talk about what Eat Local Restaurant Month is. We're going to talk about some of the restaurants involved and discuss how well Aruba pulls off this kind of event.
Sounds really interesting.
Bon dia and welcome to One Happy Podcast, the officially unofficial podcast of the island of Aruba. As always, I'm your host, Curtis Robinson, a.k.a. Aruba Curt, and today I'm being joined by
Maggie.
Maggie's back once again because we have a trip upcoming, and she always likes to hang out with me whenever we're planning out our trips.
Yeah, we don't usually hang out other than that.
Well, we pass each other because we work so different schedules, typically. So the last time we talked about the restaurants we're going to do, we talked about going to a bunch of different local places or places that we've never been to before. We don't want to repeat some of the ones that we've been doing for so long.
Correct,
with
right.
a couple of exceptions. But since then, I found out that October is actually Eat Local Restaurant Month in Aruba.
What's that? I mean, I know other times we've gone down, it's been Aruba Restaurant Week. Is it something different, a different time of year?
It's not a different time of year,
No.
I don't think. Well, it might be a little bit later. But yeah, we have gone during Restaurant Week before. Well, now they've expanded it so that it's the entire month of October.
Oh, wow.
And it's also gotten a lot bigger because it used to just be a handful of restaurants. And now there's almost 70 restaurants taking part in this.
Jeez.
Yeah. So,
And are they Aruban restaurants or chains or?
well, I mean, every restaurant on Aruba is a Aruban restaurant.
Well, not. You know what I mean.
No, I mean, it's it's a mixture of, popular ones that everyone goes to and some that are a little more obscure.
Okay.
It's not really the local places,
Oh, okay.
The places where you go in there and you play 12th floor and then you walk out with.
Okay,
dinner
so
for
it's
free.
more like the places that are available in and around the vacation resort
Right,
areas.
right,
Okay.
Right. Like a lot of places we go to, Tango, Daniels, just all those types of
Okay,
places.
so all along that strip there. Okay.
Plus more. Places in Oranjestad and, elsewhere on the island.
Well, that sounds really interesting. Mm-hmm. Are there good deals?
Yeah, for some of them. We'll get into that for a minute, but first I want to explain to everybody exactly what a restaurant week is, because not everybody's familiar with
Restaurant month. Eat local.
Well, this is the first restaurant month that
What's it
I've
called?
seen. Eat Local Restaurant Month.
Eat local restaurant.
Yeah, they
month.
did it
Okay.
again last year. I'm not sure when the first year was that they've done it, but I know they did it at least last year. It might have been Restaurant Week prior to that. I'm not certain. But, I mean, every place has Restaurant Weeks. Delaware, Wilmington has a Restaurant
yeah.
Week. Philadelphia. So, to the best of my understanding, Restaurant Week, or in this case, a Restaurant Month, is when local restaurants partner with the Tourism Bureau in order to drum up more business. They do lunch and dinner specials, usually reduced prices, and they do, I can't really pronounce that, prefix. Is that what it is? Where they have the set menu
Oh,
that
okay.
you pick from. They usually have that sort of menu. So the idea is to draw in new customers that haven't really experienced
Into the
it before.
restaurant before.
Right,
Yeah.
right.
Yeah, because our first time we were at, was it Fishes and More? Was
That
during
was a
restaurant week.
Yep. Yeah. I mean, the concept's pretty great as long as you can pull it off. If
You got to have something that attracts people's attention.
Right. I mean, if you play your cards right, then you'll get people into your door that may have been curious about you before, but were on the fence. And if you wow them with your offerings, then, maybe you'll have lasting customers, which is, what every business is looking for.
So then you definitely have to have some good prices, right?
Well, yeah, right. Well, it's going to be more about value than actual price because all of the places are going to be charging the same amount, more or less, for during this.
So it's a very fixed.
It allows for easy budgeting.
Okay.
For lunch, for instance, for the lunch specials, they're all $15
At all the different restaurants.
at all the different restaurants that
wow.
that are offering a lunch one, because not all of them. Some are doing lunch, some are doing dinner, some of them are doing both. But lunch is always $15 across the board. You pick from the set menu, and It's nice and easy for everyone. For dinners, now there's 2 price points for dinners. There's $30 per person, and there's $40 per person.
Depending on where and what you order.
But depending on which restaurant.
So I'm sorry for asking so many
fine.
questions, but so would one specific restaurant, all their options be $40?
Right.
Okay, they wouldn't have some 40, some 30.
No.
Okay.
No, I'm not really sure how the restaurants chose to set their price point. I mean, I would imagine it would depend on where they fall on the scale normally.
Yeah.
You know, like a place like the restaurant Tierra del Sol, it's already an expensive place, so they're at the $40 price point. You know, whereas a more budget-friendly place would be at the $30 price point, like Iguana Joe's or something.
Okay.
Makes sense?
Yeah, I got it.
Cool.
Sounds interesting. I don't know if you want to go into it yet, but could you name 5 places on this list of 70 that would surprise you, that maybe not necessarily weren't a part of it before, but might surprise somebody that says, hey, you know what? I wouldn't mind trying that.
I'm not sure if I could do 5 off the top of my head without seeing, because I don't have a list of all 70.
Right.
So I'm going off of memory, but some places that you probably wouldn't think would typically
be a part of something like
this.
that.
Like I mentioned, the restaurant Tierra del Sol, just because it's such a high-end restaurant,
Right.
Which is, for me, is a huge draw because...
Yeah, I'd be curious to know what they have on their menu for that.
Right. Screaming Eagle, which is another high-end place, they're on there. Some lunch places that, because everyone goes to Bugaloo, which is part of it, but also Gilligan's, Nose Clubhouse, a couple of places on the Palm Beach area that offer lunch options, you know, because we always end up at either Bugaloo or at Pelican's Nest.
Right.
I'm trying to think what else. LG Smith.
Oh, I like LG Smith.
I know you do. Yeah, so I mean, it's different places around the island for you to sample.
Yeah, that sounds really interesting. So, do you need to do anything special to participate?
No. As long as the restaurant that you're looking at is part of the list, and like I said, there's a list of 70. If you search out Restaurant Week Aruba, because for some reason the URL still is Restaurant Week.
Okay.
So if you search that out, then they'll have the full list of the 70. And I can put that in the show notes for this podcast.
Let me ask you a question. If somebody was listening and they said, "Oh, I got to check out this Eat Local Aruba Restaurant Month," if you typed that in, would the same thing come up?
I would imagine so.
Okay.
Yeah, but just to make it easy, just type in Restaurant Week Aruba, and it all works. But like I said, I'll just put the list of restaurants with the show notes for this too.
Okay.
So one-stop shopping. So like I said, you don't need anything special to partake in this, because some places they have like vouchers or booklets that you buy, things like that. But for this one, no. As long as the restaurant that you're going to participates, then you'll either pay the
Now,
the 15,
is there
30, or 40.
certain times of day that it's available, or is it all evening?
No, it'll be all evening. But like I mentioned, some places are doing lunch and dinner.
Right.
And some places are just doing one or the other.
But it's not like an early bird thing where it has to be by a certain time or anything.
No, I didn't read anything like that. So you're good to go no matter what time you get. The thing is, you're going to have to order from
that specific
menu. Set of menus, yes. And we'll go into some of those, because I have a couple of examples that looked interesting to me, because we're looking for a couple of new places. Well, we're looking for a bunch of new places, and some of them will probably be from this restaurant month roster.
Ooh, we get to review some new places.
Yes, as long as you don't review them in that voice. So one of the things that I noticed whenever I was looking through some of the restaurants is some of them offer you, pretty good value for your money. Some of them not so much. I'm not sure if every place really has the concept down. The concept of providing value so you get that new clientele in. Not sure if they've quite grasped that yet. Now, the first thing that people are probably going to be wondering is just how much value you do get out of this. Because paying $40 per person for dinner is not inexpensive, Well, what you get is you get apps, or an app. You get an entree and you get a dessert. So it's, a full meal for your money. And a lot of these places have like special things that aren't necessarily on their menu all the time. So that's kind of cool. except when you're trying to calculate the value, because if it's not on the menu, normally you have no way of knowing
Right.
how much it costs.
Right.
But luckily, with so many different ones, I was kind of able to gauge whether or not it was a value or not.
Mm-hmm. So, on average, is it like a chicken option, a beef option, and a fish option?
Well, see, that was a big thing for me, because whenever I was looking at places that appealed, for me, they had to have those different options. Mm-hmm. And see, that's the thing. That's where it's like, okay, who pulls this off well and who doesn't? Because some of the restaurants only have like one option for everybody. And I'm like, what kind of crap
So
is
you
that?
go in, this is the option you have, and it's $30?
That's the option you have, and it's $30 or maybe even $40, depending on the place.
Is it posted on the Aruba Restaurant Week site what the options are at the different places?
Yeah.
Or okay.
Yeah, all the
so it's not
menus
like
are.
you walk in and you're like,
No.
oh crap, they only offer one thing and I don't like fish.
No, all the menus are available online.
Okay.
So that's really cool. I mean, you're able to see what it is, to see if you even want to bother. Some of the places are kind of out of the way, so you wouldn't want to go there and be unpleasantly surprised.
Right.
So like I said, some of the places, they only have one option, which to me, that's a deal killer right there. Mm-hmm. Because I mean, when you go there, if you're by yourself, then that's cool. Mm-hmm. But if you're with at least one other person, you would think that you would like to order two different things and maybe try each other's.
Right.
But they completely eliminated that as an option.
Yeah.
So to me, that's just not really getting the
Guess
concept.
we're not going to talk about that place, but it's definitely off of our list.
Yeah, yeah. I won't mention the name. If you look through the menus, you'll see a couple places like that. Actually, there are more than one.
Mm-hmm. And who knows? It might be a place that you wanted to try, and it's something that you like, and you'll try it because
Possibly. It's just, to me, it just seems like it misses the concept. I mean, because most people don't go out to dinner by themselves. So I would think that you would want at least two options.
Yeah.
I mean, to me, it would be better.
Yeah.
And some places do really well. I mean, no place is going to offer, their entire menu or anything like that, because that just makes no sense. But there are some places where they have, 3 or 4 different options for you to choose from, which makes it great if you're going out with a group. Mm-hmm. So those are the places that interest me a little bit more. Mm-hmm. I'll eat anything: seafood, chicken, beef, pork, whatever.
Well, based on your knowledge of my likes and dislikes, aside from a Tierra del Sol or Screaming Eagle that we haven't been to, that would be nice to have a reasonably priced meal at to try out the restaurant. Could you name one place that you might be interested in trying? And why?
I actually have more than one place.
Oh, okay. Of course you do. You're always prepared, you little Boy Scout, you.
I was never a Boy Scout.
Well, you would have made a good one.
No, I'm not punctual enough. But no, I actually have I made a list of probably a dozen places that I thought were really good. Really got the concept. They're providing you value. They have multiple selections, and also the selections that they do have look well thought out. Something that everybody will want. You know? Some places were really specific, and for me, if you're going to be that specific, then it kind of cuts down on the clientele that's going to be interested in what you have to offer.
What do you mean by that?
Now, I won't mention the name of the restaurant, but if you look through them all, you'll see it. It's a well-known restaurant. But here's what you get. It's $40, and here are your options, or lack thereof. For an appetizer, you can have a wedge salad. It's a wedge of iceberg lettuce drizzled with blue cheese, bacon, and red onion. For your entree, you get cabrito stoba, which is it's like a beef, I'm assuming, stew with stock, wine, tomato, and vegetables, with rosemary, bacon, and onion potatoes on the side. And for your dessert, you get red velvet cake. So
that is very specific.
If that's what you want, then you go there.
Yeah. I mean, I'm never going to, turn down a red velvet cake, but some people don't eat chocolate.
Right. Right.
So there you go. I mean, that's just the dessert, not to mention all the other stuff. So is that something, or you might not know this, is that something that isn't usually on their menu?
No, I think those things are all on their menu.
Okay.
So I'm assuming that there's some sort of method behind why they chose that.
It must be one hot ass dish. I mean, that you're going to come in for that, and you're going to be like, I love this restaurant. I got to come back.
It's got to be. It's got to be. And because whatever you choose to feature has to be something that's just going to knock people's socks off.
Yeah, especially if your feature is one item.
Right, because this is your opportunity to make that impression.
Wow somebody that hasn't been there before. Or at least that would be what I would expect that you're trying to get out of Restaurant Month.
If it's not, then it should be.
Yeah.
If it's not, then you're doing it wrong. But like I said, that's way too specific. So someplace like that, I just wrote off immediately. Not to say that it's not good, because I'm sure it is.
Yeah.
But it's just not for us.
Actually, now it's kind of piqued my interest. Like, it must be really, really good.
Maybe that was their method behind the madness.
But I'm not going to go because I don't like my lettuce in a wedge.
Okay.
So what were some of the places you wanted to highlight?
Okay, so one of the places, this is going to be in alphabetical order, is Amuse Sunset Restaurant, which we had talked about.
I would like to go there, yeah.
Right, we talked about it before, but we never actually made it there. Now, they do a good job. I was actually able to price out some of the things that they have, and they are providing value, like what you're getting would cost more if you ordered it from their regular menu than what you're paying for this, which isn't the case with all of them.
Really?
Right. And we'll get to that. But for this, okay, so your appetizer choices. They have a lobster soup, escargot, and truffle linguine. So you got 3 different choices there. For the entrees, catch of the day, slow braised boneless short rib, and a veggie option, which is deep fried funchi with mixed vegetables and a spicy tomato sauce served on top of polenta and finished with grated Parmesan cheese. You can have it either vegetarian or with chicken. There's something for everybody. I mean, you got a beef, you got fish, and you got a vegetarian option, or with chicken if you want.
Or chicken, yeah.
And then for desserts, they have a passion fruit parfait, mango millefeuille, I don't know how to say that, and a pan bolo.
I think it's fuel.
Fuel, okay. You don't know, you're just making that up. But anyway, so that's a $40 dinner there.
Okay.
And the Muse Sunset Bistro is a higher end restaurant with great atmosphere, an awesome view of the sunset. So that could be a place that you might want to check out. I mean, I know you weren't thrilled with the appetizers, but the entrees and desserts seem like they're right up your alley.
Yeah, no, that sounds interesting.
And another place is over at the Ritz, BLT Steak.
Oh, okay. That interests me. So what's their options?
Okay. So once again, they have, 3 of each. Crab croquettes, which is served with a pico de papaya aioli.
You wouldn't make a good waiter.
No, I'd be horrible. Well, I'd probably be back there eating your food. So I'd be the worst waiter. Chilled cucumber gazpacho and vegetable chopped salad.
Okay. They all sound interesting.
And for your entrees, they have roast chicken with mushrooms and potato confit, braised short rib with mashed potatoes and plantains, and a piscicora, which is a fish, with Creole sauce and funchi. So 3 different things.
Yeah, they have some really good options there.
And for your desserts, they have an Aruban cashew cake, mini donuts with coffee ice cream, and peanut butter chocolate mousse with banana ice cream. See what I'm saying?
I think the desserts would be my 3 courses.
Not sure if that's an option.
Why not? It's probably cheaper.
You could probably talk them into it. But see what I mean? That's interesting.
Yeah, no, and they have a good variety.
Because you're picky, and if you dig it, then, it's diggable.
True that.
Now, here's another place that we aren't really that familiar with around the Eagle Beach area called Los Ramblers.
Yeah, I've seen it.
Yeah,
never really thought anything of it. Like, one way or another, I never really thought about what they serve there. So what are their options?
Okay, so the Los Ramblers salad, which is with beefsteak tomatoes, red onions, and cucumbers on a bed of fresh greens. Grilled scallops, jumbo scallops wrapped in bacon and served with a citrus vinaigrette sauce. And Aruba's favorite, Keshiena bites. Shredded chicken, raisins, cashew, Gouda cheese, local homemade funchi fries, and plantain chips. So there you really are getting like that local flavor.
Yeah. I think,
Keshiena is probably the most famous dish from Aruba.
I think that they should all have some form of Aruban cuisine on their options.
I agree. And that's once again feeds into, who really gets it and who doesn't. You know, this is a prime opportunity to introduce people into.
Yeah, because I'm going to go back to something you said earlier, because this is called Eat Local, right? And I said, you know, was it chain restaurants or, you know, what restaurants were literally on the group? And, you know, you made a comment, well, they're all local. So technically anything you're eating at these restaurants is considered quote local cuisine.
Yeah, but
what
not.
I thought of when I thought of local was more like the Cashiana.
Right. No, I was being a smartass when I said that earlier.
I know you were.
But yeah, I agree that every place should have some offering that's local. And
like
the
McDonald's, it's local too.
Right. Well, BLT Steak had the Aruban cashew cakes. I mean, you know.
Yeah, that's true. That interested me because I don't think I've ever, and you can correct me if I'm wrong, had an Aruban dessert.
I don't know.
I don't think I have.
Dutch, yes, but I'm not sure about Aruban.
Yeah. What was the Dutch?
Some profiterole rolls or something like that.
Oh, okay.
I mean, I'm digging some of these options.
No, they definitely sound interesting.
So
with 70 places to choose from, I would think the choosing is pretty difficult.
Right. Well, let me finish because I only got through the appetizers.
I'm sorry. Yeah.
Now, for entrees, there's a 8-ounce skirt steak, seasoned and grilled to perfection, served with a chimichurri sauce, pan-fried grouper in a Creole sauce, and seafood paella.
Okay.
So, you know, some different things. I would actually have a hard time. I mean, I want all three of them, so I would have a hard time choosing. Now, they fall a little short on desserts because your choice is homemade creme brulee.
Oh, okay.
Take it or leave it. But I still dig their options. Now, that one was $30. The other ones were $40.
Okay.
Which is pretty cool. The restaurant at Tierra del Sol.
Now I'm assuming this one's 40.
40, right. Yeah, but I mean, honestly, that's value because if you look at their regular menu, darn near any entree on there is around $40 or more.
Higher.
Yeah. Yeah, so you're definitely getting value with
and
this
that's
one.
just the entree.
And that's just the entree. So this also gives you a 3-3-3, you know, three choices of each. For appetizers, they have a surf and turf. Beef tataki carpaccio, tempura shrimp, green bean salad, grilled green scallions, and hoisin lime vinaigrette. So that's your salad.
Okay.
Escargot, which you have no interest in. And sopi agua de playa, which is a Clara Reuben seafood soup with chopped scallions and toasted almonds, which isn't up your alley, but is an interesting dish for those of us that are a little bit more adventurous. So that'd probably be something that I would look into. For entrees, beef tenderloin, pan-seared with vegetables, potato, and a béarnaise sauce, jam pao filet, and shrimp. I know I'm butchering all these words.
What is that?
Let me explain.
Okay.
Pan-seared or Reuben grouper filet.
Oh, okay.
Garlic shrimps with mixed vegetables, potato puree, and a citrus butter sauce.
Should have known it was grouper. I think that's the first grouper you've mentioned.
It might be. Yeah. It might. No, there was a pan-fried grouper.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. But I mean, that sounds delicious to me. Not so much to you, but for the seafood lovers in us, then... Yeah.
I understand. I don't like it, but it always sounds good.
In Cashiana, but they have it for an entree.
Okay.
And that's a shredded chicken stew with bell pepper, raisins, onions, capers, layered between slices of Gouda cheese. Tempting, right? And for desserts, they have quesillo, which is caramel flan with butterscotch caramel sauce and vanilla ice cream. Sherbet ice cream, passion fruit sherbet with fresh tropical fruits and sliced mint, and they have a chocolate brownie with vanilla ice cream. That's for me.
But that sherbet sounds really refreshing too.
It does, but you know me, I'm the chocolate brownie and vanilla ice cream. That's my jam. They're also doing lunch there at Tierra del Sol.
What's their option for now? Do they have No, it's not.
No,
options
they do.
for lunch.
They do have
one.
options. No, they have two
they
actually. Most places only have one for lunch, but no, they actually have two, and it's $15. Peruvian ceviche, assorted seafood, orange, cilantro, corn, avocado, and peppers, or Middle Eastern duck, saffron couscous, sliced duck breast, dried apricots, cranberry, cilantro, lemon, 5-spice yogurt with a salted almond honey dressing.
I definitely wouldn't mind trying their ceviche, but I'm hard pressed to do a lunch.
Yeah, no, yeah.
That takes me off the beach.
Right. And for entrees, you can get cashiana or the grouper that I'm not going to try and pronounce again. But I mean, it seems like a great deal for lunch.
Yeah,
honestly.
those are all pretty interesting options that you picked.
Mm-hmm. And one more.
The
last one. Twist of Flavors.
Okay.
Who I think did a great job too. This 3-course dinner is $40. So for the appetizers, shrimp gratin, which is why I said gratin earlier because I was thinking about this. Mm-hmm. But shrimp gratin, locally caught shrimp and garlic butter and gratinated with 2 cheeses.
Ooh.
Yeah. Asian beef tips with a wakame salad and sweet ginger soy sauce. Homemade spring rolls filled with seafood and served with sweet chili sauce.
Those are interesting.
Mm-hmm. And for your entrees, red snapper fillet served with skewered shrimp and Creole sauce. A 9-ounce tenderloin steak served with skewered shrimp and pesto olive oil. Aruban seafood lasagna, local seafood catch of the day, and a cream sauce with spinach and Old Amsterdam cheese. So all those sound interesting to me. Mm-hmm. I know you're a sucker for a nice, well-cooked tenderloin.
Yes, I am.
And I like that
when all else fails.
Right. Well, I like that they actually say 9-ounce. So you have a rough idea of what size. Because some places I looked at it would say like petite tenderloin.
Yeah. And what's that, like 6?
Maybe. Who knows? Well, I'm just saying if you don't put that, then Because whenever I think tenderloin, I'm thinking standard is like 8 ounces. You know?
So petite could be maybe 4 or 6.
Who knows? Yeah.
Maybe something else.
Right. It leaves the options open. Mm-hmm. Now for dessert, they have Ponche Aruba ice cream served with rum flambéed fresh pineapple. It sounds delicious, doesn't it?
That does.
Yeah.
Yes.
You light it on fire and it's just, goodness.
Caramelizes.
Yeah, I'm digging it. Homemade Dutch apple pie served with cinnamon ice cream.
Ooh.
There's no way I would be able to turn that down. Except for the next thing says espresso martini. It's a secret recipe.
Ooh.
So basically, I can't choose between any of those.
Looks like I have to have 3 desserts.
Right. I'm definitely interested in that. So
there's just so many places and so many options to choose from. It's going to be difficult.
Right. Well, those places I thought just nailed the idea of what a restaurant month should be. Mm-hmm. They presented the value. They gave you interesting options, and they gave you a variety of options for people coming in a group. Mm-hmm. You know, you can mix and match things. You can try each other's food. Just to me, that's more the spirit of what it's meant to be.
So, without naming a restaurant, because like you said, you can always look it up. Mm-hmm. What would you say really fell short? Based on what you think is the concept.
Right. It's weird because I honestly did so much reading of the various menus that some of them kind of run together in my mind. But I did have there was one that I thought just what the hell. I can't remember what the name of the place, and I wouldn't name it even if I could. But for lunch, they had a appetizer and main option for $15. And then for dinner, they had the same exact thing, but added a dessert, and it was $30.
That's an expensive dessert.
Right. So I'm like, okay, and they only had the one option, that was it. I'm like, you guys kind of missed the point. You missed an opportunity is what you did. Yeah. Because that's just no.
Yeah, there's no value there.
No.
It has to be an amazing dessert, though.
the whole thing would have to be amazing.
Anything else miss the mark? Like way off?
Well, there were some places that really just amazed me that they were only offering one option, and then there's one place that I don't really know what they're thinking. Like, it's not going to draw anyone in the way they're doing it. It's a buffet type place. Mm-hmm. So when you just order the buffet, like it's September now, so it hasn't started yet. If I go there now and I get the buffet, it's $29.95. For restaurant week, their option is the buffet, and it's $30. So I'm paying an extra nickel.
For restaurant week.
For restaurant week.
Do you get dessert?
Well, it comes with the buffet anyway.
Oh.
So I don't get that. Like, I'm like, okay.
You must have missed something on there.
Nah, well,
Maybe
I mean,
you get free drinks.
I honestly looked at it plenty of times. I'm just like, I mean, it's not that big of a deal. It's a nickel, but the opportunity that's presented, I'm like, well, someone told them that they should be part of this.
Right.
So they
got their name on the list.
So they got their name on the list, but they put zero effort in, or so it seems. Unless I did miss something. That's possible that I did miss something, but I mean, I was trying to figure out where the disconnect was, and
well, my suggestion would be, if they were to actually hear your podcast, would be to get in there and make changes before October gets here.
Right, or well, yeah,
or maybe they knew what they were doing.
Yeah, hey, maybe there is some method behind it. But,
well, anyway, so obviously there's some places that definitely sound like great ideas, and there's some places that, I don't know, but maybe if you want to go there, it's a chance to go.
Right.
And then there's some that just really seem to hit the mark. I mean, miss the mark.
Yeah, it seemed like they didn't put a whole lot of effort or thought into it, which, I mean, this is a relatively new concept, so maybe they don't understand the value yet. And it seems to be improving, like the number of restaurants there are so much greater this year than it was last year.
Right. I don't know the exact count. Yeah, they're looking to have opportunity to increase their clientele. So I hope that, you know, when something like that ends, I don't know if they do any type of comparison, like what places had more business, or how they could determine whether it was, you know, worthwhile or not based on what other people were offering. But you know, it might help them for future years when they actually do their menu again.
Well, I mean, I guess you would just be basing it on how it was last year. You know?
Right.
And places that don't see any value in it, they'll drop out of it. Actually, it doesn't really surprise me, but there were certain restaurants that, to me, are like flagship restaurants that were involved in it that I didn't think they would. Because some of our favorite places, they're not involved in it at all. And they don't really have to be, because they're jam-packed every night.
Right.
But some places that are also jam-packed every night did determine.
So what place would you say, and you might not have the answer to this, but what place do you recall off the list that seemed to be the farthest away from the resort areas?
I couldn't tell you off the top of my head. I want to say maybe, I don't know. Well, I mean, Amuse is pretty far away from.
Yeah, it is.
It's from a tourist area.
So I would just think that the places that are further away would have to offer some really good options to pull you there.
I don't think necessarily, because I mean, places like that are always on the fringe of our radar anyway.
I mean, yes, for us, but a lot of people, you know, they like to stay right within their environment, and they don't branch off as much. So to really try and pull those people to the restaurants, they have to, you know, give you some really good options from the menu.
I get that. I understand what you're saying.
And so I was just curious as to the distance to some of the places.
Yeah, no, I mean that was one of the further places. There might have been a place down in San Nicolas or something.
So were there some small, very local type restaurants on the list?
I wouldn't say extremely local.
No. Okay.
No place that was like so far under the radar that it was like a shock to me.
Well, I'd like to see in the future more places join in that are more unique, and, you know, some place that a lot of people don't know of yet.
Yeah.
It would be nice to have places like that on there as an option as well.
I think that'd be a huge benefit to those places, even more so than the large places.
And to us as the vacationers, you know. Because we're always looking for something new and unique and different.
Right. Well, if you listen to One Happy Podcast, you'll probably get a introduction to a lot of those places anyway. But I'm just thinking that a place like, just to throw out a name, it's not even part of it, but just to throw out a name like Yemenja that everyone knows, wouldn't really derive that much value from something like this. But then a smaller place like Ramada Colombiana that a lot of people don't know about. They would probably get a lot of value from this.
Yeah. That's what I was thinking. But they're not really, places like that aren't on there.
No.
What you're basically saying.
Right. But like I said, it is growing, and it's a lot more extensive than it was last year, and I'm sure next year will be even better. And as they get used to measuring different things, I'm sure their offerings will get even more attractive. And
Well, I'm really glad we're going to be down there during October, so we actually get to participate.
should be cool. A lot of good things going on in October. October is also marks the 3rd year anniversary of One Happy Podcast.
Woo! Happy birthday!
Not yet. 3 years I have been doing this, so that's pretty cool. It all started on the beach, and it's continued to now. So we're going to be having a celebration at Legends.
So tell us about it.
On October 24th at 7 p.m. We're going to be having a celebration at Legends. We're still ironing out some of the details, so stay tuned to future podcasts, to Facebook, onehappypodcast.com. You can also go to facebook.com/onehappypodcast, the newsletter, all types of areas. The information will be out there once we nail everything down. We're going to get drink specials and food specials, things like that.
Well, I hope a lot of people come. I know if you put it together, it's going to be a good time, and Legends Pub is a great restaurant.
It's awesome, yes. So that should be a lot of fun. So if anybody is down on the island on October 24th, please do join us at Legends at 7 p.m.
And any locals that want to join us, please feel free. Yeah.
Anybody listening, and tell a friend, bring them all, bring everybody. Let's have a lot of fun.
Let's have a big party.
Why not? So, I mean, that's pretty much everything that I have on Restaurant Week. Like I said, there's 70 different restaurants. I didn't want to talk about them all because I didn't want to make a 4-hour podcast. I'm sure you guys didn't want to listen to a 4-hour podcast.
Well, I think you picked some really good options.
I was, shopping with us in mind for our trip. If anyone decides that they're going to look at the list and has any opinions on any of the restaurants, please do list them in the comment section, or you can get in contact with me and we can talk about them. And the best way to do that is emailing me at Curt@onehappypodcast.com, or look for me on Facebook, Aruba Curt. You can also find me on Twitter at Aruba Curt, and on Instagram at OneHappyPodcast.
Okay, Aruba Curt.
So we talked about a lot in this episode, but if you missed something, don't worry about it, because I took the notes so that you don't have to. And it can be found at onehappypodcast.com/EP96.
Woo! 4 episodes to go to get to 100.
Yeah, so that'll probably be right around the time that we're in Aruba. And I will be recording from Legends too.
All right. I'll see you there.
Yeah, I'm sure you will. So onehappypodcast.com is a flagship for all things podcast related, so please do check it out. But until next time,
hit the music.
Hit the music.